Hello, world. Today is Friday, August 21, 2026. This is a sideshow. I'm Theodore Parker, coming to you from the East Coast of the United States, Lexington, Kentucky. As usual, I'll start the program with the weather in this area. Currently, it is 86 degrees, feels like 90. Partly cloudy, highs in the mid-80s and lows in the mid-60s. Storms possible Saturday afternoon, 48% of that. Atlantic tropical development possible this weekend. Ragweed pollen decreasing tomorrow, and almost the same as yesterday, up by 1 degree. Outdoor conditions for activities, running is fair, and poor weather for cycling, and good for gardening. The AQI is good at 26, pollen, tree none, grass low, and ragweed moderate. The UV index is high right now, and it feels muggy with the 4 mile/hour wind. Today's sunrise was at 6:58 a.m. and sunset will be at 8:22 p.m. Other weather-related news: watch tornadoes tear through Dover, Delaware. See how elephants beat Miami's brutal heat. Okay, that's one. Why extreme heat can melt your airport runway. Wildfires torch Alaska homes as winds surge. So that's the weather as it is currently in this area on the East Coast, which is at this time 11:54 a.m. As you may have noticed, as a viewing audience around the world, that I'm like a kid taking bad tasting medicine when it comes to talking about news inside the USA. But today is Friday, the weekend is here, August is going by. So we're going to deal with some of the things that's in the news in this country. So let's start with sports. Last night, and these are all preseason games for football, Raiders versus the Texans. Raiders 22, Texans 20. Just to show you how time is going by, I thought I would bring this to your attention when it comes to preseason football. Most NFL teams play 3 preseason games, plus the Hall of Fame game for 2 teams. I mentioned that when this little area of football first got started. In total, the 2026 NFL preseason features 49 games across 3 main weeks plus the special opening exhibition. Preseason game breakdown, Hall of Fame game, 1 game Carolina Panthers versus Arizona Cardinals. That was August 6th. Week 1, 16 games, August 13th to the 15th. Week 2, 16 games, August 20 to 23. And week 3, 16 games, August 27 to 29. So before you know it, in the August, preseason will be gone. Where will the next Big 3 basketball tournament be next? This was an interesting one as well. Because, as it says, just like that, Big 3 basketball. If you didn't know, Big 3 tournaments move from city to city, and they're on a 10-week schedule. So, Big Three Basketball League has concluded its regular season and semifinals. It heads to the Spectrum Center in Charlotte, North Carolina for Week 10, featuring the All-Star Game and Championship event on Saturday, August 22, 2026. The event is Week 10 All-Star and Championship, Charlotte, North Carolina, Spectrum Center. Time 1 p.m. Eastern Time, broadcast on CBS and BET. So if you have an interest in that, there we go. Let's see if I have one more here. Okay. So those are two sporting events and activities that you can be aware of heading into the weekend. Coming into the U.S., as I say, born in the USA, let's start with a couple of headlines that caught my interest, or a couple of news items at least. The YMCA of Central Kentucky to acquire Lexington Gym franchise. See if I can get this one up here. It's just a short news announcement. Lexington, Kentucky, the YMCA of Central Kentucky announced that the organization has agreed to purchase Proof Fitness in Lexington. The transaction is expected to close in early October 2026. This acquisition helps us address an immediate need, keeping our High Street membership together, said Paula Anderson, president and CEO of the YMCA of Central Kentucky. It also allows us to expand into the Tates Creek area, bringing the YMCA's mission and programs to a growing part of our community. The two Proof Fitness locations will become YMCA facilities. Heading up north a little bit to New York. This one kind of struck my interest. As I say, what strikes me as I scroll through the news feeds. And it's entitled, New York Mayor Mamdani sues to block 10,000 teaching aid bonuses. This is based on teachers' aides' salaries being below what New York in general and certain areas of New York in particular are currently having as a living wage calculator. Their pay is as low as $32,000. According to MIT's living wage calculator, the living wage in New York City is $79,469 for Manhattan, $67,558 for Brooklyn, $73,258 for Queens, $67,974 in Staten Island, and $60,341 for the Bronx. This change has been proposed by the City Council, and Mamdani did have a chance to veto on it if he wanted to, but apparently he did not. So he wanted to take it to the courts to have the money blocked based on a 60-year-old law that has to do with labor and wage arbitration 60 years ago to dig up something. But anyway, be that as it may, the counselors for it, he's in the process of trying to get this recognized by the court that he wants to veto it or not let it happen. So you have opinions on both sides. But as it stands now, this proposal of additional $10,000 for teaching aides would be for 1 year, which is why they say they don't need a union arbitration or anything like that for it to be implemented. But if it was ongoing, then you would have a case for a little more discussion. So that's the situation in New York with the teachers and their aides or teachers' aides. Here's one from the Marine Corps. Simplify. I'll just read it as it is. It's real short. The Marine Corps continues its efforts to reconnect with Marines who were separated under the COVID-19 vaccine mandate and provide eligible Marines an opportunity to return to service. This is something that I was completely unaware of before I saw this, folks, so you may be as surprised as I was or am. Through the COVID reimbursement cell, we reached out to former Marines, helped guide them through the reinstatement process, and welcome Marines back into the Corps. Our work is not finished. If you were affected and have not yet connected with us, we want to hear from you. The opportunity to return remains open. And boy, did this garner some replies. The rest of the page is pros and cons about the Marine Corps' decision on this, throwing a little brass in for good measure, and there we are. But the opportunity remains as stated. Next one, former Fauci advisor, Dr. David Morans, pleads guilty to concealing COVID-related records. If you recall, Dr. Fauci, who served on, I think, maybe 3 or 4 presidents, maybe even 5, retired and had since been called up to Congress to answer questions related to COVID-19 and that particular phase of how it was dealt with. Morans, who worked under Fauci at the National Institute of Allergy and Infectious Diseases, was accused of concealing federal records related to coronavirus research. He was indicted in April for allegedly trying to hide email exchanges about that research by using his personal email instead of his government email. By pleading guilty today, Dr. Morans has taken responsibility for what he did, and he will continue to do so. His legal counsel, Tim Belovitz, told NPR in an email Tuesday. As it stands now, Morans, who is 78 years old, could face 5 years in prison and a fine of up to $250,000 when he is sentenced in November. The next one on this, I'll just read the title of the article to you. U.S. national debt hits $40 trillion. Trump picks Dr. Heidi Overton to lead FDA. How banned goods are smuggled into Gaza. And the next one, LA Sparks star Anika Ogwumke announces plans to retire after WNBA season with the Los Angeles Sparks. And she's from Houston, so all that remains to be seen, because it'll be after this season, not immediately, that will happen. So this brings us into the headlines for today, Friday, from the news feed. And they are as follows. First one, Fayette County Public Schools review finds former superintendent used fabricated email to intimidate state representative. No comment. Sheriff deputy tries to serve civil papers and Deion Sanders at Colorado Buffalo's practice, but coach was unavailable. So that's another one that's self-explanatory. This is related to his son's finances, so not directly involving him. This next one, coming from the headlines. With all my heart, Natalie. Donald Trump's blonde aide expresses regret for being an embarrassment in newly exposed letter, report reveals. And this is coming from OK Magazine, dated 1 day ago. So she serves as an administrative assistant to Donald Trump. And the circumstances of the letter being written in the first place is it's a handwritten apology in which she gushed that her intense dedication caused her to forget to eat and sleep. 35 years old, executive assistant. So these are the circumstances of the situation. This letter was sent after Hart fell behind the 80-year-old president's golf cart while he was playing around in Scotland. Journalists observed videos of her sprinting great distances across the golf course to keep pace and fulfill her role of feeding the president positive news coverage. She says, I want things to always be right between us. Well, bless your heart. The next one, try to keep these little ducks in a row here, folks. Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce reportedly trying to prevent third person from interfering in their marriage after seeing what happened to other couples. This is really a play on words because, as you know, Taylor and Travis were recently married, and with the football season so close to being started, there was like no mention of a honeymoon. So now Taylor's in London taking care of some business, and Travis is in the midst of starting the NFL season. So what happened was this third party was actually what they referred to as distance. So the full comment from Taylor is this way. Despite being thousands of miles apart, Swift and Kelce refuse to let the distance destroy their relationship. They're not going to let distance become a third person in their marriage, one source revealed to Naughty But Nice. They've seen what happens when couples get busy, communication slips, and suddenly the relationship gets squeezed into whatever time is left over. Like most long-distance couples, Swift and Kelce text throughout the day and send each other updates, photos, jokes, and the occasional I miss you. This next one is really kind of based on a video. And I'm going to say up front that the video was only 22 seconds long. And it asked a question, why is Rihanna's son walking like that? And he's just a little bit more than a toddler, so I really don't think it's fair, but I'll just relate how the video goes to you. Recently, Rihanna visited Barbados with her family, and she's walking her son on one side, right side, and she's just another little boy, and then another lady on the other side. So they're coming down an incline, and when the kids get to the end, boys get to the end of the incline, they high five each other and bump fists. And right away, it goes from that to them loading the children on a bus, and that's the end of the video. So how they get a question like, why is he walking like that out of that, I don't know. Paris Jackson says doctors strapped her down, put a bite guard in her mouth, and electrocuted her after her suicide attempts. Well, folks, I'm going to save you a lot of questions on this. When Paris was in her teens, 14 or so, apparently she had several suicide attempts. And I'm not sure, even after reading this article, if this procedure was done while she was a teenager or after she became an adult. But it does pertain to this. Not only do we have to watch ourselves in conversation, especially when it comes to suicide and self-harm, but we also have to pay attention to how other people conversate with us. So if you get a repeated, and I'm not privy to any personal information regarding this, I'm just using this as an example, I could just kill myself. Oh, I'm so embarrassed I could kill myself. Oh, I could kill myself. You get this repeated, then it might bear looking into whether or not these are her circumstances or not. But she does have an album coming up, and the cover of the album shows her in a hospital gown with the bite guard in her mouth on the cover. So that's the circumstances behind this one. Retired detective says Keefe D claimed Diddy offered money for Tupac's murder and he never got paid. I think that's kind of self-explanatory since Keefe D's trial, I think, is going on presently. So that covers the things that kind of struck my interest. So now let's get into the headlines for Friday, August 21, 2026. American academic behind Jason Araday plagiarism allegations is suspended. If you have not heard, this goes to the UK. Jason Araday was like the youngest person to, whatever the proper terminology, academic-wise, to hold the position that he had. And then accusations came along of plagiarism related to his position, credentials, and also to his thesis. So now the person that's been accusing him of these things is suspended. Next one in the headlines, new judge has days to decide whether Carmela Anthony's conviction and 35-year sentence survive. Okay, the reason, and here's another thing. If you say it quickly, Carmela Anthony, it does kind of sound like Carmela Anthony with the C. But actually, this young man's name is spelled Carmelo Anthony. So he was convicted of killing another high school student by means of stabbing him and sentenced to 35 years. The judge went on TV in some kind of interview and mentioned that the jury got it right, which is not what judges are supposed to do. So a new judge has been appointed. This does not change the evidence, as they said in the article, but it does shed some light on the case. It gives an opportunity possibly for another trial. Next one in the headlines, police identify suspect accused of terrorizing Philadelphia women while wearing creepy Chucky-style mask. This one is of interest because Philadelphia Police Department is saying that this person, after it's been identified, is believed he has left the Philadelphia area. So, the suspected masked menace who was accused of terrorizing women around the streets of Philadelphia last week is actively trying to avoid law enforcement, officials said Thursday. Now they're asking people to be on the lookout for him as he may have fled from Pennsylvania. Zamir, Z-Y-M-I-R-E Hughes, 22, has an active warrant out for his arrest, police confirmed Thursday. Authorities allege Hughes is the man who was wearing a creepy Chucky-style Halloween mask in the early morning hours of August 12 as he assaulted a woman, reportedly hunted her down and chased her. During the encounters, which Hughes filmed with a cell phone, he approached several people while wearing the mask and appeared to antagonize them. So, this is him without the mask, folks, so make of it what you will, as being advised by law enforcement per Pennsylvania, Philadelphia in particular. Sandra Bullock says she wasn't allowed to speak about her late partner Brian Randall's ASL battle. So in this case, Sandra Bullock met Brian Randall they began their relationship 2015, but his illness came around the time that we were dealing with COVID-19. The couple started dating in 2015 after they reportedly met at Bullock's son's Louis' 5th birthday party. Randall, a photographer, had been hired to capture images of the celebration. Bullock also had a younger daughter, Layla, whom she adopted in 2015. The couple was also raising Randall's oldest daughter, Skylar. Over the years, Bullock and Randall debunked rumors about their engagement and marriage numerous times. So she had been asked by him not to divulge any of this. She said, "I wasn't allowed to speak about it," Bullock told hosts Jason Bateman, Will Arnett, and Sean Hayes in a clip of the episode posted by TMZ. "That was a request and I honored it. He asked me not to share and isolated me in the process." She continues, "I don't need a paper to be a devoted partner and devoted mother," Bullock said in 2021. And I'm going to add this part. It was just this morning that I saw a short clip, and a video clip, and it was entitled "The Humblest People in Hollywood." And it listed four. First, it started with Halle Berry. Then it went to Sandra Bullock, then to Reese Witherspoon, and the fourth one at the top was Drew Barrymore. So I saw that, and now I see this article about her and her personal affairs related to her partner, Brian Randall. So there we have it. Still dealing with headlines. And we're into the top stories now. That transition kind of got past me there, folks. Sorry about that. Prince Harry was not as happy living in the U.S. after royal exit opened to a new chapter. So it seems that Prince Harry and Meghan Markle will be moving back to the U.K. Since Prince Andrew, small children, and Lilibet, 7 and 4, moving back in time enough for them to attend school in September. Long story short. Exclusive: Navy weighs renaming carrier slated to honor Black war hero, potentially switching it to Trump. The ship in question is under construction. The USS Doris Miller and it is an aircraft carrier. Donald Trump and Michael Cohen buried the hatchet. Michael Cohen has testified against Trump twice, so they seem to be taking a different approach. Continue with the top stories. Paige Becker grabs Caitlin Clark's arm, draws foul, intense moment before halftime of Wings win over Fever. Well, it seems that they had one foul to give, and she took advantage. This next one, number 9 in the top stories, is related to a recall. Let's see if I can get all this. Recall for eye drops, folks. I don't want to keep you hanging there in suspense. Okay, here we go. Clear Eyes eye drops recalled nationwide over contamination risk, FDA says. A New York-based consumer healthcare company is recalling nearly 40,000 bottles of eye drops over concerns about the product's sterility. Excuse me. Prestige Consumer Healthcare initiated recall on July 29 due to lack of assurance of sterility, according to U.S. Food and Drug Administration notice. Excuse me. The recall is due to potential contamination. The recall affects 15 milliliter bottles of Clear Eyes Maximum Itchy Eye Relief, which mitigates itchiness, redness, and other eye irritations, according to the product description. The eye drops were distributed nationwide. The FDA categorized the recall as Class 2, which means the product could cause temporary or medically reversible adverse health consequences. And at number 10 on the list, let's see. FBI arrests woman who allegedly plotted ISIS-linked attack on New York State Capitol building. So that one is a little bit, she has converted to ISIS within the last 5 years, or at least 5 years ago, according to the article as I pull it up. Because she went online and said something related to 9/11, as in saying it was deserved, or if that's not her exact words, that was close to what her feelings that she conveyed on it, and that one thing led to another, and that's how that went. So now she's under arrest. I'm gonna do one more, and it's kind of like, because if I can find it, I just saw it here on the scroll. It's related to Barron Trump being in the news related to Andrew Tate. So I want to try to find the exact headline if I can, because it's one of those things that morphed into where it is now. And this particular article is kind of opens that up. Oh, okay.
President Donald.
Well, folks, let me slow down. Public school serve. Oh, here we go. Podcast. The title is almost as long as the article, so just bear with me. Podcast host calls Melania Trump the worst mother for allowing Barron Trump's reported friendship with Andrew Tate amid extradition battle after Tate said he's very close with the family. Completely failed parenting. And this is one of those things, like when I talked to you about the superintendent here in Fayette County, that kind of got pushed under, fell between the cracks. Okay, so how Barron Trump first kind of got put into this situation in the first place is because he had a female friend and they were on the phone talking, and she mentioned that she was being threatened or felt threatened, being threatened. Whatever it was, to his credit, Barron called the local PD where she lived and had them perform a welfare check on her. Then out of that is what led to all this being connected to Andrew Tate and his brother. Now how's that for starting with a small kernel growing into an oak tree? So, give Barron credit for being concerned enough to follow up, but that's what opened that can of worms on that one. So be it as it may, what you want to say about Melania's parenting. So that's headlines and top stories for today, Friday, August 21. I will leave you with this one since it's Friday and the weekend. We still have more weeks to the summer. Unofficially, Labor Day ends the summer activities, but officially on the calendar goes all the way almost to the middle of September. So here's my suggestion. Continue to hydrate. And by that, I don't just mean beverages and fluids. I mean water in particular. And because water, helps with the appearance of your hair, your skin, and your nails. And you don't have to go to the doctor for this one. I'll give you a rule of thumb that you can use, and it still be your business. If you're getting enough water, your urine will be clear to pale yellow. Again, if you're taking in enough water, your urine will be clear to pale yellow. If it's any darker than that, you need some more water. This is The Side Show. I'm Theodore Parker. That's it. #.